And we're live
We're live.
on a Sunday.
Sunday, 8:15. Major energy problems after a week of campaigning.
Energy difficulties.
Energy levels on challenged.
Yeah.
And right now the Oscars are going on. So
What's that? Do people still watch the
We're competing
Oscars?
with the Oscars. You got me?
Yeah,
We're
I got
competing
you.
with the Oscars. We thought, as opposed to you watching the Oscars for, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, until you absolutely had enough of it and quit of the political stuff, that you'd come watch a real political podcast. This is on the fly. This is unannounced.
Last minute. Very Latino.
Sorry. I'm trying to get to your I'm trying to get votes, man. I'm trying to get
Sorry.
Latino podcast.
Yes.
At the last possible minute, we decided you know what? We're going to meet on the highway and do a podcast at another illustrious Align Mortgage of Texas building.
Yeah.
We're going to sit here. We're going to talk about, whatever, a little bit of the Oscars and stuff like that. But just to recap the week.
How's it going?
Talk about what's coming up next week. And
How's your week?
get people. Man, it is... When I'm talking about no energy, I'm not kidding around. Like today we had some work to do today and some different things we were still working on. But after a full week of voting, so voting started on Monday.
Full week.
8 to 6 every day. And then on Saturday, yesterday, was 8 to 8 p.m. Now, you got to remember what the weather was like this week. There was 2 or 3 days where it was 95.
Oh, that's true.
And then one day where it was pouring rain.
Yeah. Bipolar weather of San Antonio.
Yeah, typical San Antonio. And then I think somewhere in there too was like, I don't know, 50 degrees, 45 degrees. So yeah, it was an insane week. And when you do these things, when you gear up for these campaigns and you get ready for election voting week, what happens is the Sunday night before you vote, you're up really late, putting all your signs, all the poll sites, and there's a lot of anxious, nervous energy, and then you're trying to get everybody lined up to help out because it's hard. People work during the week. The voting hours from 8 to 6 are tough to get to, and you're trying to get people to man the poll sites and show up, and you still got to continue regular block walking. You still got to make phone calls. You still got to try to raise money. All these things are ongoing.
Too many details, right? I think
you miss them all.
Normally, people just vote, right? People normally just vote. But people that decide to get a little bit more involved, the more they get involved, the more they understand that there's a lot of details moving. There's a lot of moving pieces.
It's like, so a campaign is like starting a small business.
Oh, yeah.
So you got all this, you got money coming in, hopefully if you get some donations.
Yeah.
You got resources and money coming in. You got to pay for all of these things, employees and marketing, advertising, social media. You got to do all these things, whatever you can afford, whatever you can put into it.
Yep.
And then you execute a business plan. You got data and a strategy, and all you're doing, it's like a controlled crash landing. Like campaigns from one day to the next can take on a completely different look and feel. One day you could have had a great day with a great story in the newspaper, and everything's going your way. People are telling you, man, I'm voting for you. I got you. I'm with you. And then the next day,
bro,
they want to run you out of town, and it's a terrible day. And it's an exercise,
bro.
in humility.
You keep saying in several places you've spoken that you learn more about your moments of trouble. You know, you learn more. I think 20 years from now, you're gonna say, "Oh man, I learned this from those highs and lows during the campaign trail."
Yeah, I say oftentimes that, I don't know if anybody that would disagree with me on this, that, you learn more from your mistakes and your losses than you do your successes and the times you made the right decision. Like you learn more when it doesn't go your way. Yeah. And you got to self-evaluate. You say this one all the time, right? Self-analysis.
This is a breakfast of champions.
The breakfast of champions.
Yeah.
So when you self-analyze, you take a step back and you say, all right, why did that not happen for me? Or could I have done this differently? And this is the other thing too, I tell you, I think we hold our elected officials and our candidates running for public office, we hold them to such a high standard, like they can't make mistakes or they can't get things wrong.
I love that about you. You keep saying this because I understand that when you run for a high political office, you got to sell the best. I totally understand that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to sell the best because it comes with a territory, right? But I love that you say, I may not have all the answers, but I'm willing to talk to people. And that's refreshing. Yep. That is so refreshing because you're not black. You're not, you're Latino más o menos, right? But
más o menos.
You know, but
41.
Okay, yes.
Percent.
41%. 51% latino.
Por ciento
Latino. You see,
51%.
So being aware that you're not everything and you've never lived other people's lives. It's a good thing to say that. It's refreshing to me. You saying, you know what? I may not have all the answers.
Yeah,
but let's talk.
And the thing you learn too is when you hold candidates and stuff to a higher standard and the elected official, we forget that they are human and people make like a ton of mistakes.
Yeah,
You make bad decisions and you don't have any intention to. Sometimes you have good intentions, but they turn out to have negative consequences or effect.
Yeah.
And we live in a very polarized community to where all we speak in are these high-level talking points.
Yep.
So people live in the catchphrase. They live in the talking point.
Yeah.
And can I, in 10 seconds, win, destroy, humiliate, whatever, right? The other side. So there's no depth in our argument any longer. Like there's nothing in life to me that's black and white that can't have a little bit of nuance to it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, some decisions are obviously black and white. Some things are either a yes or a no. But within those decisions, there's a lot of opportunity, right?
And when people talk about politics, not this time around, I tell people all the time, there's some stuff that I love my wife, but there's some stuff I don't agree with her. And that's okay.
Did you just say that on the last?
Oh my goodness!
Is Edith watching?
She's
Hold on.
asleep.
Is Edith watching? Hold on.
Yeah. Or sorry, there's stuff that she doesn't agree with.
I agree with my wife on everything.
99.9999. But it's that's real life. That is real life. We don't agree on many things, and people don't want to. I don't know. Maybe we're not honest with ourselves. But anyway,
no, you got to give people the chance. So just to say that for the last time, you got to give people the chance to grow into the job and to be better and to learn at what they do. I had to lose in 2019 to recognize my opportunities as a candidate, things I need to do better, and how you have to be someone. So that's point one: is you got to give people the opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Nobody gets it right. Yeah. That's point one. Point two is no candidate is going to be with you 100% of the issues.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
No candidate is going to be with you 100% of your issues.
And bro, let me tell you this.
Doesn't exist.
You saying that is so simple, and people listening to that, oh, that's true. But the problem is we act like we have to agree on everything.
Right. Yeah.
You and me have had discussions on several topics, right?
Sometimes and you're normally wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm still here.
Hey, I still let you on the podcast.
And we've talked about even theological things, and we don't agree.
You can't agree on everything with anybody. You can't even in your own house. The woman or man or whoever you live with, your spouse, loved one, whatever, significant other, your parents, your children, even the people you love and care for the most, you do not agree with them on 100% of the issues.
Yeah.
And so just you got to give people, and I don't care who you're running and what race you're in, or it doesn't matter if you're running for mayor, city council, school board. As a voter, you have to give people an opportunity, to make their points, to live, to understand, to listen, and to recognize that they don't get it right all the time. And but that's just, that's just me. And but people are so polarized and angry at things.
And
that you have to be everything to everybody, and then they get mad at you when you try to be everything to everybody.
And you know what the worst person is? Because I've been there and I've been that, and sometimes I step into when you want to be mad, you will be mad. Those are people that are like, for example, with the Biden and the Trump. I would talk to people that were for Biden, against Biden, Trump, whatever. I'm like, the thing is, you just want to be pissed at the other one. And that creates a filter in your mind that anything that happens, you want to say it's wrong.
And if you are a friend of somebody who's like that, right?
Wow.
So then they get mad at you because you're respectful or kind to the other side who may disbelieve in you.
Yeah.
So you may disagree with people in this city. Like we have Proposition B on the police officer fight, right?
Yeah.
We know. I mean, obviously, I'm in favor of supporting our police officers on city council. Always have been. I'm against Proposition B. I mean, we don't want to defund our police department. So these things I believe. But I also believe in respect of the other side.
Totally.
Like, so we've had them on the podcast before. We had SAPD, BLM, Reliable
Greg,
Revolutionaries.
you had BLM on your podcast, Greg.
Yeah, man, people got pissed at me.
Why?
Because I don't know, man. I have to. It's okay to listen to people.
That's crazy, right? And that's how people are, right? They're like, you can't even get close. Don't be a family member of this.
You
can't.
Don't
be friends.
And I look at them and I say, what do you mean?
Yeah.
They're if you become the mayor of or a city council member, but if you become the mayor of San Antonio, you are a mayor for everybody. Yeah. I don't need to be like Ron Nuremberg, who's a mayor for only his progressive Democrat friends.
Yeah.
He's not a mayor for anybody else. He's just not. So he doesn't show up at any events that are anything opposite of what he believes. He doesn't show up in anybody else's room. If you're a Republican, Ron Nuremberg's not going to show up to support you. He's not going to be he skipped those forums and debates. He didn't want to show up at those things. So that to me, I show up everywhere. Somebody should show up in any room everywhere. If you're running for public office, just show up. I mean, you go into every room, because if you win, you're mayor for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're a council member and you win, you represent all 155,000 people. You can't say, well, progressive liberal, we're going to put you on a bus and send you to Hondo. No, I mean, that's not how it works, man. You got to represent them all. I'm sorry.
We want to thank everybody that's logged on. Judith says, weather, District 21, voting tomorrow with my husband and 3 young adult children. Thank you. Vicky says she voted, District 7. Edith, a nice, cute girl that I met the other day, District 4. She's all voted up. Liz Montalvo, you know Liz, maybe.
Edith, nice, cute girl you met the other day.
Yeah, the other day. Yeah. District 9, Liz.
I think I met her 15 maybe years ago.
Yeah, I met her the other day.
My wife and I may know her.
I saw her, and I'm going to keep her.
You think so?
I was reviewing my notes.
You did a pro con, and Edith had more pros than cons.
Yeah, no cons. Hey, wait a minute. No cons. Mimi is District 10, and she voted. Sheila voted for Greg the first day of early voting. Damn.
There we go. Early voter.
What's your stand? Okay, anyway. Michael voted. Hey, Greg, tell me the rules. I thank God that my wife says this all the time. I have never paid attention to politics until you started being a nuisance in all of this political stuff, right? So I'm glad she's involved for whatever reason. But there's a lot of things that I don't know. Let me ask you, because maybe I did something wrong. I went to vote the other day.
Okay.
What are the rules? Because I went with Chris, right? And we were there, and we're all excited for voting.
Yeah.
And
you can't take a picture in there.
Where? Like, okay, details, right? Details, bro. And
you can't go in and then at the voting box. You can't selfie in the voting booth.
Well, we recorded the whole thing. I'm joking. No, anyway. Yeah, so we're all excited with our stickers, and then we went like this, and the lady started yelling at us.
Hey, man, you don't mess with election judges.
You don't.
No, man, that's someone's.
But we were already outside. Like,
that's someone's the kingdom in there, man. Yeah. You don't mess with that. No photographs.
Another thing, for example, the people with signs. All right.
Oh yeah.
What are the rules in regards to where can they put their signs, and when can they talk to people about voting?
You can't. So if you go out and you sit at a poll site, you can't. I mean, you can call it electioneering. I mean, you can electioneer, but there's a line, like you can't come within 100 feet of the front door of the poll site. So you got to give people a space. So every place is marked, right? And you can't as a candidate or someone advocating for a candidate, you can't walk into the space. So the whole thing is designed to give voters some level of freedom and space when they go vote. So they don't get harassed at the door.
Okay, as a voter, what about as a voter? If I'm in line to vote inside the place where they're voting, because I voted here at the Mall of the Americas, whatever.
Oh, you voted at the Wonderland, all right?
Yeah, the Wonderland. All right. I talked to this older couple. They were there behind me. And I asked them, who are you voting for? Can I do that? I can't do that.
No, man. You can't.
What are the rules?
That's actually not a rule against you asking who you're voting for. You can't electioneer. Once you go into the voting area, you can't be carrying material in there. Okay. And you can't be advertising. Like, you can't wear a shirt that says Brockhouse for mayor.
No.
You got to hide it. You can't show up advocating or campaigning within the voting area itself.
But not even a conversation?
No, you can't, because it's not. The place at that point is for the voter, and it's not for any advocacy.
Because they were talking about something political, right? And then I asked, well, who are you voting for? And she told me, and I'm like, and she asked me, who are you voting for? So I'm like, okay, so let's the conversation started. So we kept on talking, and it was pretty cool. Anyways, I think she changed her mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, another one.
Let me see. You're in there advocate. Yeah, you're going to get run out. Someone's going to run you out.
Answering.
Armando Cruz says the 100-foot line. Dina Serrano's watching. Nancy Hecker. Voter registration card or utility bill. If you have issue, contact me. Carrie Hall knows what's going on. Mary Fleming's watching. So we got
Adrian. Thank you for watching, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian. God bless you. The Villafaña familia voted for you, and against Prop B. We love the blue.
Yeah. So look, we wanted to make sure we also let people know, and these are tough weeks. It's tough weeks for every candidate. There's not. You're in an election week, you've poured your heart and soul into it. And if you had no resources or not a lot of money, then you're doing like people power. It's family, it's friends, it's everybody walking, knocking doors for you, making phone calls. All this energy goes into it. I'm blessed with some great people that are helping me, right? That are my direct team. Chelsea, Shelby, you've been phenomenal with your wife, always helping us. Patty Guido, my wife, obviously sitting at poll
Your
sites.
amazing father-in-law.
My parents, my father-in-law, mother-in-law. I mean, everybody. It's like a whole family environment on a campaign. And we have resources to run a campaign. Not a lot. It's a difficult year because of the pandemic and people are out of work. It's tough for families. But there are candidates running across in multiple city council districts, and they don't have a lot of money. They're just kind of running on their own people power.
I was going to ask you about that.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
So, for example,
but it takes a lot of energy out of them, is my point, right? And you go through a week like this, and everything's back up. So tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, you can vote from 8 to 8 p.m. Those are long days in campaign world, man. You were out at the poll sites, or you're out hustling for votes for 12 straight hours, and depending on the weather, it could be rough. That's why everybody, and they've been working the last week. I was out at Brook Hollow. I went to almost 10 different poll sites. I was out at Brook Hollow yesterday, the number one polling site in the city. It was where more people than anybody vote. And there was, there's 25.
Why is that? Why is that? Is there any reason
The heavier voter boxes come out in districts 8, 9, and 10. That's where the bulk of the votes will come from. Almost 45% of the votes will come from 3 separate districts. That's it, out of the 10.
Any reason in particular?
It's voting patterns. It's age. People over 65 are most likely to vote.
Wow.
And they dominate the voting booth. They always show up. And they show up in particular numbers in city council elections. So at 8, 9, and 10 will draw out most of those votes. Brook Hollow Library on Heimer Road's always the number one polling site. And I'm out there yesterday. I mean, John Courage is out there. My wife is out there, Patrick Von Dolan. I mean, there's Erica Moe. All these candidates are out there. The San Antonio Police Officer Association rolling out in full force. All these people show up. And all you do out there is work all day. You got your tent up. They've got food, donuts, coffee if it's cold. People are walking up and they're asking for votes. What do you say? Red Bulls. It is.
Any awkward moments for you?
I mean, I have awkward moments all the time, but it's like the single. If you have a problem with government or elections or politics because of the federal level or what's happening at the state or Trump versus Biden or whatever your issue is, if you want to see real politics in action and get a feel for it, go out to a poll site like that.
I agree.
And watch all these people around there. I was at Brook Hollow, yes. I was at many of them. I dropped in at Claude Black, Lions Field, Mission Library, Great Northwest, Northside Activity Center, Maury Maverick, Ed Cody. I've been to all these sites over the last week. But when you go and you sit there, really for the most part, people are just working, trying to get votes. Like nobody's mad at each other. Nobody's yelling or craziness. I think it's really great. It's respectful. But you can see it's a good thing to take your kids.
That's true.
I would tell you this. So Amalo's 1 year old. Salo's baby's 1 year old. But when he gets old enough, you should take your son or daughter into the voting booth with you. You should take them in there so they get the little future voter sticker. You should take them in there so they can see you push the button. And that you grow this culture of participation in your children. So that's why this is a great week. So tomorrow, if you haven't voted yet, you can vote Monday, Tuesday, and Election Day is May 1st, Saturday. And the polls will be open 7 to 7.
Are you going to have that? Is there a party right after?
Yeah, man, we got to do it at a Lime Mortgage. We got to open that building. Lino mentioned that. Lino, we got to get you. Adrian just logged on. Another party.
1st, at the end of the campaign, May 1st, please put it on your calendar. Everybody that's watching,
win or lose,
share this video. Share this video. Encourage people to vote. But on May 1st, why don't we just get together and celebrate and celebrate
win or lose? Everybody's invited. All campaigns.
Yeah. Look at this picture.
So yeah, that's it right there. Yeah. So that's an awesome picture. So when you take your kids into the voting booth, they get a feel for it, right? Like they get a chance to see what you do and the value of a public vote.
Yeah.
And when only 12% of the city votes in municipal elections for mayor and our city council, 12%. By you taking your children in there, you're building it. You're at least building a culture of community civic service. So take your kids in to vote. I saw a lot of people doing that. And I think it's rewarding. Your kids enjoy it and they get the future voter sticker, like I said, and they recognize that those decisions we make on these polling sites affect us all. And by taking your kids in, it's a good thing, man. You got to go. You got to take your children if you got them, or your grandchildren, or whatever your story is. Take them in.
Good. And again, I love something that Greg says, and it's true, that what some people out there try to present that San Antonio is a racist, full of hate city. We're not that. Other cities, maybe. Maybe. There's 1% chance they are. But San Antonio is beautiful. San Antonio is beautiful, and it's an amazing opportunity for you to show your kids that we live in an amazing country where we're allowed to vote. So anyway, thank you for...
That's a good question. So Albert asks...
Forgive me now.
Besides being annexed,
Wow.
what can unincorporated San Antonians do to get a voice to vote for mayor? You saw my earlier question. Yeah, a lot of questions flying through, but that's a good one. I get that one a lot, Albert. And here's the problem. The city has grown so much. I tell you right now, the last election, I can't tell you how many people told me, man, I couldn't vote for you because I lived in Alamo Ranch. It was hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people I've encountered that said I couldn't vote for you because I was on the border in Leon Valley and I couldn't vote for you. Or I was in Alamo Heights on the border, I couldn't vote for you. Chavano Park, Terrell Hills, all these little cities in San Antonio and the borders and the lines, and it's very difficult to get the maps so people will go to the poll site, and then when they go to the poll site, they recognize they can't vote, and then it makes them mad because here's the problem. Those little cities are within the city of San Antonio. So everything the city of San Antonio does affects them, but they have no vote. And so what Albert was asking is, aside from getting annexed, which is not what anybody outside of if you live in Alamo Ranch, you don't want to be annexed by the city of San Antonio. Your taxes are going to rise.
Oh, wow.
So you want to avoid those high costs that come with city services, but you want to have a say in it. So it's very difficult. If you moved outside of the city limits for a reason, you don't want to be annexed. So the best thing you can do is help. Tons of people who live in the city of San Antonio. You got to tell them get out and vote. Yeah. They have to be your voice. The bigger problem, Albert, that I would tell you about worrying about is SAWS and CPS Energy. So people don't know this. SAWS, well, they know it, but this never really dawns on them. But CPS Energy and SAWS cover the entire county, entire region, yet the city of San Antonio owns them. So a lot of people who live in these, they call them unincorporated areas. It's areas outside of the city of San Antonio. They don't have a seat at the table with SAWS and CPS Energy, so they don't have a vote. They don't have a vote. So it's like taxation without representation. So if you live in an unincorporated area in the Bexar County zone, you receive SAWS and CPS Energy utilities. You don't have a vote for the city council. The city council votes to raise rates, and the city council in the city of San Antonio owns CPS and SAWS.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. So Albert, one of the biggest goals we can do is try to fight to make sure that we get representation for the county folks, the unincorporated area people, the people in smaller cities, to have representation of CPS Energy and SAWS, because you're getting ripped off.
Greg,
you really are.
Greg, when you become mayor, we're going to have these sessions of information for people, because 12% of people vote, right?
Yes.
There could be many reasons, but I think a lot of the reasons is because people just don't know. They don't know many details. The other day I was trying to encourage some people to vote, and you know what they told me? Bro, can I still register? As simple as that. Can I still register?
Yeah, you got to register 30 days before the election day.
Right. So I didn't hear a big campaign in many places to register before telling people to vote. So there's a lot of details that people just don't know.
Well, we fail. Look, and we talk about that 12% voting number. And right now, I don't remember the exact number. I think in 2019, it was 750-ish thousand registered voters in the city. The November 2020 election brought new registration. So we're somewhere about 825,000 registered voters. So right now, our voting tallies are about average or slightly below percentage-wise. There's more people voting, but it's less as a percentage because we have more registered voters. Here's the problem, and I always start. So people will blame lazy voters and voters who don't care and lazy people. Yeah. And I get that. We can be upset.
And I've done that too.
I don't think it's...
people don't care. They just,
I don't necessarily blame the voter up front. The first person I blame is the government. I always got to blame the government. The elected official and the system, how it's built, discourages people from participating. So the fewer people that vote,
the easier
it is for the incumbents.
Say that again.
The fewer the people that vote, the easier it is for those people in power to control the system.
Man.
So incumbents, which are people who are currently elected,
maybe that's why
they want less voter turnout so they can control it. Now they'll tell you, "Oh, we want more people voting." I'm telling you, one only has to look at Ron Nirenberg right now. Ron Nirenberg is hiding. He will not debate. He does not show up in person to try to earn the job. He's hiding, right? Every chance he gets. I kid you not. The guy will not stand on the stage with me and debate me on the issues of the past the accountability of the past or the ideas for the future. So what he's done is he's basically said there's no race. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I'm basically the king here of San Antonio, so I should just get nominated for re-election and it's over, right? What that does is it decreases turnout. It suppresses people's interest because there's no campaign. There's no interest. There's no knowledge. So when you hide the knowledge. People don't have issues. They don't know what to vote on. So they don't even know there's an election right now. A lot of people don't even know. So the people in power want to drive down turnout. People like me in every situation want to increase turnout. We want more people voting. So when people in town tell you that certain political parties want to suppress voters, I'm telling you in San Antonio, it's Ron Nuremberg who wants to suppress voters. He's conducting voter suppression.
Yeah.
Because he's not letting people have the information to make a choice. Yeah. Because he won't debate. He won't show up. Yeah. And he won't show up because he thinks he's got it by divine right. Yeah. So we just have to work hard. We got to get people to come out and vote.
And to work hard, please share the video. One, share. Tell them to encourage your friends to go vote. And in a little while after the podcast, on his page, or this page, of course, we're going to start posting some ideas about Greg. So what you can do is just share that meme. As simple as that is. Share the information we're going to be sharing, and that will provoke other people to vote. Somebody just posted, texted here, first-time voter. Every time I read that, bro, I love it. First-time voter.
First-time voter's awesome. Yeah. I met some kids this week. 3 different kids, 18 years old, their first vote. So I took pictures with them, and so you want to talk about cool feeling?
I know.
When a young man or woman comes to you and asks for your picture because you're the first person they ever voted for.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
One of them was a Marine Corps, was going off to the Marine Corps. He cast his first vote for me, and we took a picture. I know his dad, and he's like, "Hey man, my son's leaving for the Corps tomorrow, or in a month or something like that." And he cast his first vote for you, and he's really stoked about it. You see, and one kid came up to me, cast his first vote for me, and he goes, "I thought it was going to be more exciting." he's like, "I thought there was more to it. I thought there was more to it." Yeah. In life, don't we always say, "Well, I thought that was going to be something more."
I thought there was going to be sparkles.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be sparkles and things were going to fly around and fireworks. Yeah.
Lou Bonilla says this: recruit your friends to vote for Greg. Awesome recommendation. So look at this. I love this. Ronnie Porcielo says, "So can you vote with the driver's license?" And then somebody's put, "Yeah, but you got to be registered to vote." Gus Prieto answering. That's amazing. As long as you register to vote, you can vote. Oh my goodness.
Look, the best thing you could, there's provisional ballots. There's other things you can do when you vote. You can show up to vote. They'll check your registration for you there. You can also go to Bexar County Elections. Bexar County Elections, just put it in Google. It'll pop up. It'll click it. You can verify your own voter registration to check and see if you're still registered. If you voted in 2020 in the November election, you're registered to vote. Show up. If you need a mail ballot, you still have time to request ballots. I think maybe near the end though. But you still have time to request opportunities. If you're disabled and you need to get to the polling site, they'll bring you out the polling booth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have a portable voting tablet. They'll come out to you in the car, and you can vote in the car. They'll take care of you in multiple ways to get a vote in. And don't forget the hardworking men and women who are the election judges right now. Yeah. They're volunteer. They show up. Yep. They show up and they do all this work and they try to run these elections and it's hard work, man. They're there. So you may be out there campaigning, but the election judge is there at the same time as well. They're a few hours early to set up and a couple hours late to shut down.
Ronnie says, if you voted in 2020, you are registered. Go vote. Albert, or is it a state vote? Okay, Ron is saying, oh man. Greg, have you ever been... Before we started the podcast today, I was going to say the views expressed by this person doesn't necessarily represent the views on this.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
That was going to be a disclaimer.
3 days till the vote. Yeah, good disclaimer.
Good disclaimer, but yeah, I should have done it last year. But anyway, because there's a lot of I'm not going to ask questions because I went to go vote. And I'm a very curious individual. And I'm asking a person with this particular group because I want to know, right? Okay. And I'm like, it was about Prop B. Okay. And they had a sign. And I was asking them a question. And it sounded exactly like it's a phrase they were given to say at all times.
Okay, look. Here.
So then, I'm like, right. And they answered, da, 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 da. And then I asked them a little bit further. It went like that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it didn't compute.
So you're saying you went up to a Prop B supporter,
yes,
and ask the question.
Yes.
And you got a talking line.
And I got a talking, but which could be fine because, I mean, we all have, even I have ideas of what you said, right? But then I asked them further. It felt like I pushed the wrong button and there was no information there.
Look, here's the truth. A lot of these people out there advocating are about an inch deep in their knowledge. So they only know the talking point. And that's okay. I mean, if you're out there working for an issue I'm not here to disparage you on your knowledge.
Yeah.
Unless I start asking you questions and you have no clue how it works.
Yes, I exactly.
So that ought to tell you right there. Like this Proposition B is a very interesting conversation.
It's like those.
So
have you seen the Netflix documentary Hired Guns?
No, I haven't seen
it. When the main band members can't play, they hire somebody from the back to play.
Yeah.
I thought
the cover band. The cover band.
Yeah.
So know this. You're gonna go and you're gonna go to a poll site. You're gonna see candidates. You're gonna see activists. You're gonna see their supporters, their family members, their abuela. They're gonna see everybody's out there.
It's beautiful.
All of them have varying levels of knowledge.
Yes.
And some are just out there because their heart's in it and they just want their person to win, right? Like, I want my mijo to win. I don't care if he's the worst candidate of all time.
He smells bad, but I want him to win.
That is my mijo, and I want him to win.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that all the way to the science professor, the Einstein, who knows literally everything about the subject. You're going to get so know that when you're engaging. The best you can do is ask a few questions, right? Just ask a few questions and say, okay, look, I'm trying to dig a little deeper here. And it's okay to dig deeper. Don't get stuck up on people's talking points. Because sometimes people are straight up lying. I deal with this all the time on a campaign. I don't engage lies.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
I agree.
Not only, social media is famous for this. It's all over social media every day. Someone's lying about my position. Or someone's lying about me, or misleading, or they're whatever their garbage is, taking 15 seconds of a quote, whatever it is, right? These people, I don't engage them. Like, you can't get into, because not only are you fighting the issue, you're fighting their lies. So what you can do is just put, as best as a voter, is go talk to these people and ask them what they're, and then go to the other side as well.
Yeah.
Like, ask both sides. And that should tell you, I think if you engage both sides, you're going to get your answer. If you engage one side, well, you've shortchanged yourself. I think if you engage both, and don't be afraid, if you're a police supporter, don't be afraid to go talk to a fixed SCPD person. I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you're a police supporter, you know your vote, go in and vote.
Yeah.
Against Prop B. That's where I'm at. Against Prop B. I still talk to the men and women on the other side of the issue, though. I just don't agree with their plan. I don't agree with their action. I don't agree with their activity. I think they're wrong in what they're doing. They're still citizens, and I'm still going to be their mayor, and we have to take care of each other. And they are right in some of their ideas. Like, I think we should. This is the truth. We must fire bad cops, and we got to get better at it.
We all agree that.
We all agree that. Yeah. Even the police officers more than anybody.
But this is not the way to do it.
This is not the way to do it.
This is not the way to do it.
No, this is not the way to do it.
The conversations on the areas that they disagree, that can be handled in another way.
Absolutely. And you have to have the leadership willpower to hold the line and lead. We don't have that at City Hall. Ron Nirenberg, let's just go before him. Julian Castro. This is a classic.
Don't be cussing on this podcast.
I just said a bad word, bro. Castro.
Yeah.
So Julian Castro is a real piece of work.
Yes.
So this guy is out running around San Antonio right now calling for police officer accountability, and he's in favor of Prop B. So if you needed another reason to vote against Prop B, Julian Castro is for Prop B.
Remember the story I told you?
That's right. So is Greg Popovich. So that gives you two reasons to vote against it.
Abuelito.
But this is the total hypocrisy of people like Julian Castro, who, by the way, is in the dustbin of San Antonio history. Like, nobody cares about this guy. I mean, he's got some followers in town, whatever. But for the most part, nobody wants to hear from this person anymore in San Antonio. So his days are gone by. Thank you for your service. If I'm elected mayor, I'm going to do my time as mayor. And when I leave the job, it's time for the next person.
Yep.
Like, welcome to the next level of leadership. I would then be the past. And that's okay. The past doesn't always need to keep coming back up, right? And that's part of the problem with San Antonio. We have the same 10 fools leading, always coming back and finding ways to interject themselves and be part of it because they can't let go of the power. Julian Castro is chief among those who are hypocrites. And I'll tell you why. This person voted for the contract when he was mayor.
No, vote against what I voted.
The very contract he approved and negotiated and approved and supported and received contributions from the police officers. Now he has a problem with it because he wants to be more than an ex-mayor of San Antonio.
Political currency.
So he wants the political currency of saying he's with Black Lives Matter. So he's sold out his own history. So nothing's worse in politics than being complete and total hypocrite. And Julian Castro is far and above the best hypocrite we have in the city.
Yeah.
Because he voted for this contract, he negotiated, he led the city, he signed off on it, he gave his stamp of approval. And now a few years later, he's like, yeah, no, man, that's bad. Like this contract's terrible.
You know
Vote
what I
it
did
down.
back then?
I mean,
it's not that good.
So I would just tell you this. I just try to remain consistent. People need to find the information. I don't engage, lies on social media. I don't engage. And if that makes you mad, I'm sorry. I'll text message you my number and you can call me. You want to get a hold of me and talk about it? I'll give you my number. You call me. We'll talk about it. And if you don't like my position, you don't like it. But I'm not going to get on with the trolls or the people lobbing bombs or people on the other side. Like other candidates, I'm not going to play games with their attack lines or attack points. I'm going to stick to my stuff. This is what I believe is what's happened in the past. This is what I believe is the future of our city. Let's go to war on. Let's fight about it.
Yeah.
Let's have some good argument. And then the better policy comes from it. Nothing wrong with conflict. We should have good conflict. We should discuss it, argue it, debate it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit back and do it on Facebook. I mean, if you want to talk or you got a problem with my position, give me a shout, man. Shoot me
somebody's starting a cult. Look at this. Somebody's starting a cult. Says, we had a guy ask, what would Greg do on who to vote for in the school board election? He was a serious Greg supporter. That's like a cult. What would Greg do?
What would Greg do on the vote for in the school board election? He was a serious Greg supporter.
GD.
We had a guy ask us, what would Greg do on who to vote for in the school? Well, which school board election? So, I mean, I don't know which one, but look, school board elections are very important.
Very.
Those are some of the stepping blocks to higher office. People start at school board levels, so you got to pay attention to those as well. Plus, those are the rules that educate our children. You want to talk about the books they're reading, the information they're getting, the policies and practices in our school boards, where our children are learning about life, government, all these skills that they're picking up in schools. Those school board members are leading those causes. So
how important? Okay, I want to encourage somebody out there that's watching this and they think, man, this world is turning bad, right? Today we had a conversation with two families, and they're both worried about putting their kids in school because of this phrase, what they're teaching them, what they're learning. So we need good people in good positions and good places. So if you've ever considered, I think you should pray about it, ask God for guidance, and step into it, because we need better leaders. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's a point that I get tired of my complaint about complaining. Man, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Well, we need to push that and say, you know what? Let me get involved and let me do something.
Well, yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah, because there's a point we get tired of complaining about how things are. We should just start stepping into things. You know what I mean? So
you got to pour into it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
And that's part of my thing, right? As if I'm blessed to be mayor, like we go all in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You want to get ready to go to work? Elect me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to continue with the status quo and taxation problems, high property taxes, failing CPS energy and SAWS, the highest murder rate increased 35% in our city year over year in murder. You want to talk about hundreds of thousands of dollars being wasted in so many different projects. I mean, you can go right down the list of problems in our city. The status quo, what I think is hilarious, is the people asking for re-election when they've been in charge over these failures the last 40 years, and they're surrounded by the same people.
Yeah.
If you watch Ron, you'll see every time he runs into a problem, he appoints a board or a commission or a task force. And it's always the same people from the past. He always brings in the Henry Cisneros, the Reed Williams, right? All these tired old people, right? The same old faces. Well, let me go back to Julian Castro. Let me bring in all of Castro's people. Let me make sure it's the same tired names. The city, and I'll admit this, if I lose, it's probably time. I'm going to step away and I'm going to do my best in my neighborhood and community. I'm going to work hard. And I don't need to, there'll be a next generation of leadership. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I don't need to keep seeing Julian Castro anywhere in this city. Henry, due respect, you led our city. You did the fantastic work. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time. The city has passed you by.
Yeah.
We're a different community, a different state, and a different nation. So as leaders, once your time in the leadership sunlight is over, step back and let go of the power. We shouldn't have to deal with you any further. The next level of leadership, and right now that level of leadership right now is Ron Nirenberg. He has the chair. Mm-hmm. We don't need to keep seeing Castros and all these other people keep hovering around like vultures at the trough.
Yeah.
Because all they're getting is the same answers. These are the same people that broke us in the first place. You want to talk about Henry Cisneros? He signed the original police officer contract decades ago.
That he's bad-mouthing now. Yeah.
Julian Castro signed it, right? Greg Popovich. And look at this guy. All of a sudden, he's the chief negotiator for Fix SAPD. So Greg Popovich, his players have collective bargaining and arbitration. What are you complaining about? These hypocrites get away with all. And I'll tell you one major reason why. They're protected by the media. So the media gives them a pass and doesn't allow for the same
So
fair
the players
treatment.
have collective bargaining and they're protected by cops as well.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting.
NBA players have a collective bargaining agreement that includes arbitration. I love this hypocrisy. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I want to make sure people know this hypocrisy. Greg
this out.
Popovich, in his ultimate wisdom. By the way, is there ever been a greater example of they love you when you're winning, and when you're losing, they don't love you no more?
Yeah.
So Greg Popovich won a lot of championships. I get it. He came out a couple days ago and says, vote for Prop B. We need accountability and no more collective bargaining. While his basketball players enjoy collective bargaining.
And?
To include arbitration.
And?
To include multi-million-dollar salaries and protection on their discipline cases.
Mm-hmm. And?
Surrounded by cops. Surrounded by police officers who protect them. Oh, by the way, Julian Castro, I read this the other day too. Castro, as well as Ron Nirenberg, they like to call the police officers when they hear something at their house. They call the cops all the time, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So they're trashing the cops. They're saying they're out of control, racist, and systemically broken. And yet they utilize those services every chance they get because they hear somebody scratching on their front door. Yeah. Like these, you want to talk about the height of brilliance and courage? They grab the phone because they think they hear a cat scurrying in the front yard. So you know what? The hypocrisy is what we have to get through. Only thing I'm saying is once you have had your time in the leadership sunlight, and God has gifted you the opportunity to represent the community, you've earned it. Julian Castro won the job. He earned it. Henry won the job and earned it. Ed Garza won the job and earned it. We all of them. Once your time is up, go away. Because I don't mean it in an ugly way. My time is up. If it's up, it's up. Then I'm going to move on and find other ways to help my community. We don't need you chiming in to fix the problems that you created or let happen on your watch.
Wow.
And if you can't now come back and say you got it right after you've been unelected. Okay, done.
Power's so intoxicating, right, Greg? Maybe
power is
intoxicating for us. A lot of these people.
Yeah, they can't help it, man. They get sucked into
it's like Chris Rock used to say. I'm not saying that I justify it, but I understand. I understand. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look.
I understand it could be intoxicating.
City council is like single A ball. Like the big leagues, the major league is, that's like presidential. And then you come a step down and, you got your senators and that's triple A ball. And then you got governors and statewides in Texas. And then, that's double A ball. Single A ball, the basic entry level elected official is the city council member, right? And they think way too much of themselves, like way too much. And I can see why it's intoxicating because I got down there and you get treated like some sort of special royalty, San Antonio royalty. Like you walk in, everybody treats you. Oh, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, yes, sir. Can I get you a Klondike bar? Do you want a Coke Zero? What can I do for you? Do you want to eat you want Panera Bread today? I mean, the whole list of garbage that you get, the special perks, it gets you kind of wrapped up into this thing like you're special. News, I never let that get to me. I'm very proud of this point. I never let it get to me. I purposely would not go downtown because I thought it's a fake fishbowl of ridiculous backstabbing politics and people are not real. It's not a real word. It's politics in City Hall, not real. So I would go and spend 90% of my time out in the community where it is real. neighborhood streets. That's where I'm out. That's where I did my work. But I could see it intoxicating other council members that are newly elected or been there for a while, and they think there's something special.
Yeah.
I got a news flash for anybody who's elected to the city council or the mayor's chair in this city. You are not special. You're just not. There's nothing special about you. You went out and got a job. It's a temp work, by the way. It's temp work at best. You went and got the job. Congratulations, you won. Nobody thinks you're special. You should not think you're special yourself.
Greg, maybe this. Maybe they are special, but maybe their perspective is skewed. Because
They're not special. Their perspective is skewed. That's
because they are special in the sense that they get to serve the community. Serve, not rule, not order.
Well,
that's a special place. Being able to say, you know what, here, Greg, I'm here to serve you. That's a special place.
But the person.
But I think their perspective is messed up.
Their perspective's messed up. Okay, fair point. Their perspective is messed up. So what happens is they get this power and they think they can lord over it, right? Like it's their job, it's their seat.
Yeah.
Right? Like no, it's not how it works. That seat belongs.
They think the seat is above the people.
Yes, the seat belongs to the people.
Yeah.
Two types of politicians in the world, I believe. Two types. One who's elected and thinks they go to City Hall to make the decisions for the people because that's why they were elected.
Yep.
That's one type of politician. They're the person that goes down there and says, they elected me to make these decisions, right? Like holier than thou. The second type of politician is the one carries the message.
Yeah.
That's the politician I strive to be. I carry the fight.
Yeah.
So I know the people I represent, and I take what I believe to be what all of us believes is best for us, and I take that and I go carry that message to City Hall, and I fight it every single day.
Bro, and that's why I loved you saying that you wanted to take the city council meetings to the people, not necessarily in City Hall. Remember you were saying?
Oh, yeah, man.
That, when you said that, I'm like, that is an amazing idea. Having city council meetings or different types of meetings in the city, in the different neighborhoods.
We should take them out. We should take the city council meetings out. We should go have them in every senior center in every city council district.
Amazing.
We should show up at a church and hold a city council meeting.
Wow.
We should have it in a hall. The Imperial Ballroom. I don't care where we do it, man. I've never heard of Imperial. Somebody from the West Side, I don't know Imperial Ballroom. But we should show up, have it at VFW.
Yeah,
let's go meet.
totally.
Let's go do these meetings in the community.
Yeah, in school
and that way
somewhere.
people can show up.
Yeah.
That it's in a convenient time.
that they feel it's their city, their governor, their leaders and stuff like that. Yeah.
Third, the council meetings are on Thursday at 9 a.m. Who in the heck's going to go to that? Like, who cares? And it's live
Who
stream.
establishes that?
The city council.
They decide, okay, we're going to do
You
it
can
at this
meet
time.
anytime, any place you want to go.
You can make the decision of, man.
Council members can meet anywhere, anytime. You just have to publicly post it 3 days in advance where you're going to
Wow.
be. If there's a quorum, if more than half of the council's together, at that point it has to be announced 3 days in advance.
Man.
Yeah, and I don't care where you go. Let's say all the council members wanted to go watch Mortal Kombat at Park North Alamo Draft House, right? They all wanted to go see a movie. You would have to put a public notice out that a majority of the city council, a quorum, is present at Alamo Draft House. Because that is considered a meeting of the council. So you can't have Thanksgiving dinner with all of us together hanging out, council members. That's to protect the public, in the public's interest. Oh. Yeah, you can't hang out with more than...
You see, Greg, when you were mayor, we're going to have a lot of these moments of information because people need
give out
to
all
know.
the data.
Having those meetings out in the community would be too scary for the typical politician. Because you said, Greg, that there's a lot of...
Who said that?
John Lee.
John Lee's absolutely right. They'd freak out.
They freak out because you said that there's a lot of decisions that are being made before they vote on stuff.
Jeez.
That's scary, guys.
Let me tell you this.
Tell me about that.
Before you go to a city council meeting, the city council meetings are every Thursday, 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m. And if there's zoning, it'll happen after 2. Every decision, for the most part, is already made before you show up. It's like a dance. It's like a routine. The whole map is laid out. Everybody knows what questions are going to be asked. Like that, I kid you not. Council members will tell the city staff, I'm going to ask you about this. Be prepared for this.
You're kidding me, Greg.
The votes are predetermined 95% of the time. You don't even... If you think you're going to go to City Hall and change a vote because you're going to bring power to the people and show up, it's done.
Wow.
It's already predetermined.
Yeah.
That's because there's these private meetings. There's all these things going on, all this pre-work. The city staff controls all the agenda. Everything is already predetermined. The dance is set. The music is played. Everything is ready to go. They know exactly what that script's going to look like when you sit down at city council meetings. It's voted on, done, packaged, and gone. Now, occasionally, a council member will throw a monkey wrench into it. Oh yeah, and then everybody panics. Like, hold on, I wasn't expecting this question.
That was not in the script. That was not in the script.
This wasn't in the script. So sometimes, like Chick-fil-A, Roberto Trevino brought that sucker up. Nobody was expecting it. Like, he went to town, and there's issues like that that'll come up.
How do you change that, Greg? How do you change
like that.
No, I'm saying, how do you change that not happening?
Which part?
The part that they're making decisions before the meetings.
Man, that's on the leadership. It's on city council members to make sure you debate. People hate the debate on the dais. Like, they get uncomfortable with the council members arguing with each other. Like, who cares? Like, I mean,
it has to happen.
Has to happen, but it doesn't happen.
That's part of democracy.
Doesn't happen very much at City Hall. So I like to bring the fight. And there's council members that do.
Yeah.
And Roberto Trevino's, you can disagree with his politics 100%. He went down there and said what he thought. I disagreed with him, but man, he put it on the table and we voted on. And we went to town.
And you respect that. You respect that.
You have to respect somebody
awesome.
who at least brings the fight and is consistent in their messaging and says, this is what I'm going to do. I think we should talk about this out loud. That's good for the public.
Robin, thank you says, wow, more corruption. We need Greg for mayor. I fight in zoning. Patty Gibbons says that. Many of your community have no idea about these things. That's true, Ronnie. Por cielo, sad citizens don't get hurt. Drain the swamp, Greg. Joseph, let others know. Everybody that's logged on right now, let others know if they haven't voted. Push them. Make them uncomfortable. Get them out to vote. If you want to, tag somebody in the comments, please. Patty Gibbons is small pay under. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading something else.
We got most of the comments there. We got most of them.
Greg, you're making so much sense that it makes me even more disappointed with our current administration. Gus Prieto.
Oh, Gus. Yeah, so a couple of shout outs. There's a gentleman named Cecilio, his wife, Gus Prieto, and his wife, Ana Prieto.
Yeah.
We've got some amazing volunteers. So I know we're getting near the end of this.
Yes, you do.
We've been at this for a little while, right? We got 50. We got to start to wrap this sucker up. There are so many good people that join you on a campaign. It's just too many to list. And you can't thank them enough, like, just for showing up. And I don't know what's going to happen on May 1st. I don't know. I mean, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. At this point, we got to do everything we can in a short, finite amount of period. We have to get everybody out to vote. I know this for a fact. If my people come out and vote, I'm going to be the next mayor of San Antonio. If for some reason they want to stay home or something comes up and they can't come out or I'm not going to win.
Greg,
so it's about getting people out to vote.
12% of people are voting in San Antonio. What would happen how do you see San Antonio changing if 50% voted?
Oh my gosh.
Because me and you have had this
You're going to get a better representation of what San Antonio really believes.
You think a lot of things would change in regards
to...
Because a lot of people say this. And again, this is not about Republican or Democrat because Greg is going to be the representative of everybody. So a lot of people start asking, is he Republican or is he Democrat? No, he's running for the mayor to lead Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, progressives, everybody. So we try not to get into that discussion because you need to pay attention to his political platform, which, Ron, I don't hear anything about what he's presenting or promising or planning to do, which is disgusting. But anyway, so a lot of people, when they say, well, San Antonio is kind of this color, right? But in like many organizations, the few are the loudest sometimes. And sometimes the few are the ones that are wrong or the ones that are emotional or the ones that are messing it up for everybody else. So here in San Antonio, only 12% vote. What if 50% vote? Do you feel that San Antonio is going to change a lot?
You would get a greater representation of who we really are. Now, think about this. 12% of the community votes. To win, you got to get 50% plus one. That's how you win an election. If you get less than 50, it's a runoff. So you have to get 50%. Ron Nirenberg beat me with 50. He had 51%. So he got 51% of 12%. So, actually, we brought 17% out in the runoff. So he got 51% of 17%. So about 8.6% of the city elected him mayor. Of city voters. 8.6% of registered voters elected.
Sounds even worse.
61,000 people.
That sounds worse than the 2%.
It is. So we think, 12% vote. Sure, but only 50% elect. So you don't represent the majority of the city. So the more people that vote, I think you get a better representation of who and what we really are. I think we proved something in 2019. We proved that we weren't the most progressive liberal city in Texas and all this other garbage that they were saying about the San Antonio City Council. What we proved was ideas win. Ideas, people vote for ideas and passion and energy, and we almost got there. They had to come at us with everything but the job to win. So, they attacked us on all kinds of fronts. We kept coming. We kept coming with this is who we are. This is who we are. This time, that's what we're doing. Ideas, future. What can we do to build our city back? Not accountability for the past, but going forward, what are we? I think, and I don't think, I believe it in my heart. We're just on the wrong path. We're not engaging enough. We don't have this passion any longer at City Hall. So I want to bring that heat, man. I want to bring the passion and the energy that we can do anything in this city. We can get people back to work now. We can open up our city. We can, these mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, vaccine passports, all these things we're doing, right? All we have been for a year and a half is everything we can't do.
Yeah.
And everything that's wrong about us. That's what we've been talking about for a year plus. What we can't do and what's wrong with us and how broken we are.
Yeah. The no's. The worst way to teach a kid is through more no's than yeses.
Yeah. So
it's horrible. You'll mess up a kid.
We have to get away from what we can't do, from what we can't be, and how broken we are. We have to bring that fight on jobs, on public safety, defending our police officers and firefighters. We have to show up every day, putting the money where it matters most. We have to bring a belief back to San Antonio that we can accomplish anything. This city loses all the time because of our leadership. And in the same 40-year problems we've had, never change. At what point are we going to vote for a different idea and a different way of doing business? And we have to grab it, get there. And
what do you like about San Antonio, Greg? What do you like about San Antonio?
What do I like about San Antonio?
Yes, tell me something good about San Antonio, because those people keep telling we're this.
Well, number one,
San Antonio is beautiful.
Number one,
Why?
I think our people, right? So there's one thing that really pisses me off when people say this. They like to say that we have an uneducated workforce. Boy, that boils my blood. And it boils my blood because I think we have a fantastic, amazing workforce.
Yes.
Only the liberal elite of San Antonio City Hall, or those elites in the business class, only they say we have an uneducated workforce. I've been a business leader. I'm a business owner. I don't hire people based on their college degree or how educated or how many books they read. I hire them because they have a particular something that is coachable, that cares, that has an ability to learn, adapt, and represents the best possible culture fit for my team, right? And it could be any level of culture I need. That's what we have in San Antonio. So when you say what's best about San Antonio, our people. 100%.
Yeah.
And when you run around and say we have an uneducated workforce and it's their fault, no. We do not. We have the finest workforce in the nation. And what we have to do is bring the jobs to San Antonio. So I just believe in us. Partly, I'll tell you, a little bit supportive here of San Antonio. I think that people who come from other cities, right, have to learn and adapt and get to know that about us. You don't have to have lived here your whole life to be the mayor or to be a city council member. I think it helps you tremendously. I've been here my entire life. Love this city. Believe in this city. I'm not trying to change us into something we're not. That's what Ron Nirenberg and some members of these city council want to do. They bring their Boston mentality or their Austin plans or their Minneapolis breakdowns or their Portland failures. They bring them to us in San Antonio, and we try to then legislate at City Hall and lead based on the problems of other cities. It's not who we are.
Yeah.
So I would always advocate we do what's best by us. We make the decisions based on us, and we go from there. And by the way, we do it together. All of us, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, Green Party, whatever you are, the mayor has to lead them all.
Tara, thank you for saying I love San Antonio. Tara, thank you very much. Hashtag we love SA and Greg for SA, and share this video, share the information. If you want to go back through the broadcast page, this page where you're watching the stream, please go back. And if you see something that you like about Greg, his platform, what he believes, go to the website and share it. That's something you can do. Encourage people to vote, tag people, share this video, but also share the different things that you've seen through this last month for Greg for Brockhouse.
Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Get out and vote.
Hey,
I'm asking you.
Where are you going to be tomorrow?
I'm going to go. I'll be posting tomorrow where I'm going to go. I'm going to visit. I'm going to go to the east side tomorrow. I want to spend some time over at Copernicus and Macrelis. I want to spend some time on the south side. And I got to get into Las Palmas tomorrow. So there's a few places I want to go. I'm going to try to get out. So I'll post about an hour before I go somewhere in case anybody wants to join me or visit. I'll be voting on election day myself, probably.
Wow.
If not Tuesday. I haven't voted yet, but I'm pretty sure who I'm going to vote for. So two things I want you to think about. And people get mad at me because they're like, you endorse other candidates. Who you endorse? People need to get the facts, choose their own candidates best for their neighborhoods and their needs and concerns. There's a lot of great people running for office. It's tough to make a choice, but you have to make a choice. So I'll wrap with this. Get out and vote. I'm asking for your vote because I think I just can do the job and I love the work. I want to pour my heart and soul into it. My wife, Annalisa, and I together forward, taking our city to the future, working every neighborhood, district, street, sidewalk. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go for it. We did it as the District 6 couple, and we want to do it as mayor. We're asking for your vote. You got questions? Direct message me on this feed. Come to my Facebook page as well if you're all on there right now. Send me a direct message, your phone number. I'll give you a call today. Not today, but tomorrow. And we can talk over your questions or concerns.
Share.
I don't like the deal in the lies and in the Facebook fights. Text me, we can talk. The second piece is I'm going to implore you. I'm going to absolutely tell you to vote against Proposition B. We have to protect our police officers and their contract. We know it. The police officers are out in full force at every polling site. You can ask them questions. Just ask a question. If you talk to a fixed SAPD person, that's great too.
Yeah.
Go talk to whoever you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Please talk to the men and women and their families who are out there fighting to keep collective bargaining. That final point on that. The contract is not just about discipline. It's pay. It's benefits. It's things that protect families. You're not just taking away the contract from a police officer. You're taking it away from their wife or spouse who sits home when they go do the job. Their children. All those protections are in that contract. It belongs to the family of police officers, not just the police officer. And it's a whole heck of a lot more than just discipline.
Before we go, Mary says, please share how we can financially contribute to your campaign. In the description of this video, you're going to find a link. You're going to find a link where to donate. You know what? Let me share it right now.
You're good, man.
Yeah, so it's in the description, Mary. Somebody says, how can we get involved? Somebody was asking if
you can go to you can do it right here on Facebook. I mean, you can literally just send me a direct message. Chelsea, Shelby, my wife, Patty, we're all monitoring it. We'll get in touch with you. You can direct message your phone number. We'll take care of you and join us. The poll site's Monday, Tuesday. We have to have a big Saturday. Look, the name of the game is to get into a runoff. If my people don't come out to vote for some reason or another, we're not going to be in a runoff with Ron Nirenberg. He's going to win outright. I can guarantee you this. No other candidate is in a position to beat Ron Nirenberg. It's the Greg Brockhouse campaign that can get it done. Due respect to the other names on the ballot, we have a full focus campaign. We've been at this. We know where we're at. We know what can be done. We know the issues. We have to get Ron Nirenberg under 50%. We got to get him into a runoff, and then we'll win the race in June. But that's what it requires. People must come out and vote. Direct message us, and we'll talk to you and help you out.
I just pinned in the comments. I just pinned where you can donate to the Greg Brockhouse campaign. Thank you, Nick, and thank you for people that are wanting to volunteer. Gus Prieto is saying we need volunteers, so you can go to the website. And Monday, Tuesday,
Tuesday, 8 to 8. Vote anywhere in the city.
And then
we'll do one more podcast before election night, and then we'll put up some ideas on the party. Win or lose.
May 1st. Put it on your calendar right now. Put it on your calendar.
Win or lose, we're partying. So that's who we are. That's who San Antonio is. Let's get after it and make it happen.
See you later, guys. Bye.
See ya.